This is Ion Sullivan. I am your host, Mike McGuire, joined today, as we are each week, by the chairman, Rob Doherty. Labor Day is over. School has begun. How are we doing today, Rob?
Thank God Labor Day's here. So one thing, I love the summer people that come up.
Terrific.
I was a summer kid.
Yep.
They
Summer love.
They bring a lot of business to the county, necessary business. Even though, as we gone over before, our tourism's not what it used to be, but it's still a good chunk of our business. Yep. I think that I do look forward to Labor Day, though. The Tuesday after Labor Day is my favorite day of the year.
Well, and the weather, I mean, it has rolled in after Labor Day.
Let me tell you, I went to work the other day. Mm-hmm. So my son Matthew was coming up from Florida.
Oh, terrific.
Yeah, and so when I went to work the other day, it was 41 degrees. Huh. So I took a quick shot of that, 2:35 in the morning, 41 degrees. I sent him that. He goes, that is a crime.
He said, Dad, I'm not coming.
Exactly.
I love you dearly, but
yes.
I'm done.
So so he's here wearing 2 sweatshirts and gloves and a hat. You see that in Florida, right?
Oh my God.
Yeah. So when it's when it's in the low 60s.
Oh yeah.
People walk around with gloves on.
Yeah, I'll go out for a run if I'm down in Florida at normal hour, like 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock. I'll be coming back 5:30 or so, and people will be out walking their dogs like a snow emergency.
Hat,
literally
gloves,
hats and gloves and winter parkas.
Yeah.
And they'll look at me in shorts and a t-shirt and they're like, this guy's crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I mean, they're correct.
Yeah, yeah. But for other reasons.
So Labor Day is passed.
Yeah. Schools
are starting. School buses are rolling along. And the town of Highland, which we've talked a lot about, continues to be a mess. So I got a call yesterday from the elected clerk of the town, Sue Hoffman.
Yeah. And
it seems that John Pizzolatto has now put together a committee to investigate the Bonadio report after he spent $64,000 on the report.
Please tell me that the person running against her is not on that committee.
Chairs the committee.
Chairs the committee.
Okay. So she chairs the committee, and then they have Glenn Pontier, who took part of her job away. They made him the FOIL officer.
Well, by the way, he's also a draft dodger.
True.
That's a fact.
Which is interesting in the next point when we talk about the veterans.
Correct.
Yeah. So he's on the committee, and then her deputy clerk, who reports to Sue,
correct,
is on the committee that's trying to muddy Sue up as we head from Labor Day to Election Day. It's remarkable. So
they couldn't find anything in the Bonadio report.
Right.
So now they're like, wait a second.
Right.
We're going to find something. I don't get you tell me the person, I'll find the crime.
Now, remember, the Bonadio report said that they've gone through all the checks and there were no suspicious checks. That's in the report. So the committee's charge from the Ayatollah of the Delaware is this. We want you to investigate the people that got refunds to look into these refunds. Now, I said to Sue yesterday, refunds? Who gets a refund on their property tax? Because I'll raise my hand.
I'll raise both hands.
I'll raise both hands for that. Nancy, take it easy. Nancy and Kathleen maybe just having the flutters.
Exactly.
So she explained to me that sometimes people misread the bill and they pay where it says if you pay by January 31st, it's this.
Correct.
So they misread it and they pay the March installment.
Correct.
So she says sometimes there's refunds. It's usually relatively pennies. But Bonadio already looked at that. So now we've got a committee of people who have a vested interest in seeing Sue muddied up.
So this is keeping the hoax alive.
Keeps the hoax alive is what it does. Okay. So Sue yesterday, when she learns this at the meeting the day before, tells Melissa, her assistant, who she likes. Just take today off.
Well, she hired her.
She hired her and she
works
reports to her.
directly to Sue Hoffman, the clerk.
Not only does she work for Sue Hoffman, but she does not work for John Pizzolatto.
Correct.
He has no authority over her whatsoever.
Correct.
That's an elected office.
Correct.
They have to work together.
Correct.
But just like the sheriff worked with the legislature.
Correct.
But you couldn't go into the sheriff and say, the undersheriff is now in charge.
As a matter of fact, we're a mutual employer.
Correct. So she sends Melissa home for the day with pay so she can sort this all out. Because it's kind of interesting now that you've got the person that works for you is investigating you. Mm-hmm. A little bit of a conflict, but John Pizzolatto doesn't worry about conflicts. And so John Pizzolatto then calls Sue and tells Sue, Melissa is now in charge, and you, Sue, go home.
He can't do that.
Of course he can't do that. He can't do a lot of what he's doing. And so I advised her, the supervisor as the chief executive can close the town.
Correct.
I said,
but that's usually a snow day.
Usually it's a snow day or a hurricane. It's not one of the 10 best days of the year. 75 degrees, bright sunshine, not a cloud in the sky. I mean, maybe Barryville was looking different, but you know the storms that come in off the raging Delaware. So I said to Sue, if he's directed you to leave, close the office, put a sign on the door, or when people come, because she still has no software on her computer.
Correct.
So with Melissa not there, they still can't do things like death certificates and
fishing licenses, hunting licenses coming up.
Hunting's coming up, fishing is there. I said, send him down the hall to John Pizzolatto, let him issue them.
Correct.
Or just close the office. So that's what's going on there. That's the update on the Fuhrer in
Highland. You sit there and say dictator, this, that, the other. That's what he's doing.
Yeah, we hear those terms thrown out in the media, in the national media, as one party is attacking the party that's in power. But the reality is, this guy is truly accepting that he owns the town.
Does not.
He's the owner of this business called the town of Highland, and everybody works for him.
Oh, he's doing business in the town of Highland.
Oh, he's doing business.
Oh, trust me.
Yeah, he's doing business.
Trust me.
So we go back to the meeting a couple weeks ago that we spoke about. And you recall you raised that at that meeting, they talked about $1,200 to pay for a lift to put up these veteran salute banners.
Correct, which is great. I mean, it really adds another slice of Americana to an already iconic Americana type town.
Well, it does. In fact, I drove through that town yesterday, and you find yourself driving the speed limit, so you look up at the signs because a lot of the names are families that are still there, and you know.
Correct.
And it really adds a real quaint feel to the town.
I agree.
So the highway department guys volunteered their time to put up the signs.
Which is great.
Which is terrific. And you had
And that's volunteerism, which makes these small towns work.
1,000 points of light.
Correct.
As once said.
I don't know about that.
I don't know about that. So we're going to get into those kind of Republicans in a minute. So, and then you had veterans that were standing in the back of a pickup truck on a ladder trying to put them up.
Because they were so passionate about putting them up.
They wanted to salute family and friends.
And fellow veterans.
Right. And so the highway department guys said, this isn't really safe. This isn't really the way we should do this. We'll get a lift, and we'll do it the right way. So they rent a lift for the day. I think it was $1,200 for a couple of days.
But they've done this several times.
They've done it several times. Okay. And that's the way they did it.
And which is safe and good for everyone.
Correct. Which means you don't wind up with a workers' comp claim. You don't wind up with problems. And the banners get up, and the people in town love the banners.
I think everyone loves them.
Of course they do. And so it comes to the board, this $1,200. This is the same day he appropriated $64,000 as a political contribution to go after Sue Hoffman.
I'm telling you now, if I'm Sue Hoffman, I make her claim that.
Oh, no doubt about it. Absolutely no doubt about it.
I call the state BOE.
Right.
And I make her, because she voted on this. I want you to understand.
She voted on it.
And
now she's serving on the committee as chair.
Correct.
Yeah.
Right.
So he turns, the supervisor says, nope, we're not paying that $1,200. So now some poor guy probably in the highway department that made the arrangement with the rental company is probably going to be on the hook for this $1,200.
Which is unfortunate.
Which is terrible. In the same meeting, by the way, they decided they weren't cutting the grass in Veterans Park anymore.
Correct. So here we have people who are volunteering their time.
Yep.
Okay. Now, I remember when the Chamber of Commerce down in Barryville wanted the town to go down and at the cul-de-sac down on River Road, wanted to use town time and town resources, but that was okay.
That was fine.
Okay, because that fits inside Johnny's wheelhouse.
Correct.
So now Johnny's picking winners and losers here.
Correct.
That's what he's doing.
And he's making the veterans the losers.
Which is crazy to me.
That to me is crazy.
Okay, even if you don't have any veterans in your family and you don't have a long history with it, just to know that people sacrificed, I mean truly sacrificed, for this country and for your town. They're from your town. I mean, I have, my wife's uncle, is a Bronze Star, winner. And I mean, that's a big deal. I mean, we in our house at the fireplace, it's up on a mantle. I mean, it's a big deal.
It's a big deal. It's a big deal. My dad, of course, was a veteran of 2 wars.
2 wars.
And a lot of the people that are depicted up there were Vietnam era guys and World War II era people. And I probably imagine that there's very few people in the town of Highland that don't know somebody's family that's up there.
Come on.
It's the nature of the town.
Well, you're living in a box.
Right. So he says in one meeting, it's all it took him, we're not paying the $1,200. And by the way, we're not cutting the grass in Heroes Park.
Correct.
Okay.
Which, mind you, September 11th is right around the corner. Right?
Next week.
A week away.
Yep.
And they're going to have a ceremony there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and they've got a piece of the World Trade Center.
Correct.
Right there in town.
Andy Boyer did a fantastic job, and other people also.
Yep.
Okay, did a fantastic job with that. And so I bet you they cut it so that when he gives his little speech there, he looks like, a champ.
Oh, right? Of course.
He's not going to sit there with weeds up to his knees, is he?
Right. No, and we never forget, and it's the whole bit.
Yeah.
We never forget, but $1,200.
I don't want to hear it. Show me. I judge you through your actions, not through your words.
That's right. Okay. Exactly. You are what your record says you are.
Bill Parcells said.
Correct. All right. So then we get a sincere, good member of the community that says,
who's been here.
She's been here in Iron Sullivan.
Okay. She's been here on Iron Sullivan, but she's a member of that community.
Right.
For, I believe, close to 100 years.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
She's not a carpetbagger.
No. She didn't just roll into town.
Correct.
And her family has given to that town immensely.
Correct.
They have volunteered. It's unlikely that you could find an organization in that town that her family has not supported.
Correct.
All right. So she says, "Well, this is terrible. This is the veterans. This is the fabric of our community.
Correct.
These are the people that we honor."
Correct.
I'll come up with the I'll donate the $1,200. Oh, you would think that the Fuhrer, if he was sincere in even giving a damn about the veterans, the slightest little bit,
Which he does not.
Of course, he does not. He would say, "Wow, that's really great because the town didn't afford it."
Now, keep in mind,
he didn't reach in his own pocket.
Keep in mind, the members of the board, no one made it. Tried to do a resolution to get it paid.
Oh no.
Okay.
Nobody did.
Not one member of that organization tried to. I believe Caitlin, showed her disdain for it.
Correct.
But the other 3 members sat there like, all right, we're cool with this.
And 5 members of the board, I don't look in other people's pockets. I know the economy can be tough, but you got 5 people on the board. They couldn't say, you know what? The town doesn't have the money. but I'll put $200 in.
But you had $6,400.
$64,000
for a report that went nowhere.
It went nowhere. And you knew it was going nowhere.
That went nowhere.
You knew it was going nowhere.
It was designed to go nowhere.
It was designed to do what it did, to create an uproar in the community and try to vilify a hardworking member.
When the attorney reads the preamble to it, several months ago, none of that was in the report.
Of course not.
Okay, so he says, okay, we're going to give you a piece of what's coming in the report, even though, keep in mind, the report's not done yet. Mm-hmm. They didn't talk to Sue.
Yep.
They didn't talk to the former clerk, and they didn't talk to the accountant firm that does the accounting for the town. Of course not. Okay. He reads I don't know where he got it from, but it has nothing to do with the current report.
Not a thing.
Okay,
not a thing.
And then that was on Facebook, and people were like, I can't vote for someone like this. Vote for someone like what?
Yeah.
There's no misgivings, and there's more money, and we have Sonia Kidney's husband standing up saying, where's the $5 million? I mean, come on, stop.
It's in the bank.
It's in the bank.
That's where it is.
Correct.
Part of it's gone to the county. So we get a person from the community says, I can't allow the veterans to be disgraced, and God forbid a member of our staff that's volunteering their time gets hurt in the back of a pickup truck.
Correct.
It's going to cost the town a lot more than $1,200 on that lawsuit.
Correct.
Okay. She gives the $1,200. What happens?
So from what I understand, they don't cash the check.
Yep.
Okay. They have not given the check back either. Mm-hmm. Keep that in mind. And then miraculously, the organization that Johnny runs, the Barryville Chamber of Commerce, and I'm not disparaging the Barryville Chamber of Commerce. I think they do a great job.
Yep.
Okay. They're going to pay half of it, and the town miraculously came up with the other half of it. Miraculously.
So again, for political purposes.
Correct, and that's all it is.
It's only political.
It's all show.
Because the person that donated the money wasn't looking for a lot of fanfare.
They were not.
So for political purposes, Johnny, all of a sudden, miraculously, he doesn't at the meeting say, well, we need to look at other ways. This is going to be taken care of. The veterans are going to be taken care of. He didn't say that. No. He says, oh, no, we can't do business. We're not going to do this. And it's only after he gets called on it that all of a sudden he comes up with a way to fix it. It's really miraculous. Really despicable.
So while he's trying to fix this, maybe he can get the lock on the firehouse down in Barryville too.
That would be helpful.
All right. I mean,
that would be helpful.
In the budget, there's only $400 for it. And I believe the lock is like $700-800. Maybe you could scratch up the other $400.
Maybe you could scratch it.
Or maybe you can go halves with the Barryville Chamber of Commerce.
Maybe.
All right.
Maybe.
And maybe we can get that done. Okay.
So, Rob, you and I have spent our lives in sports. Our children have been very involved in sports. We've been involved with them. And I've got to tell you that, to me, the worst sin that we can have professionally or in sports is where you have the person that's in charge of a team, the head coach, sending the plays over to the other team or throwing a game.
Well,
that can't be.
Okay, so it's beyond that, okay? So in sports in general, I'll give you a prime example. So I grew up in New York City.
Yep.
And so there's a huge CYO, Catholic Youth Organization
and it is big
league, okay? So you play with kids in your parish.
Correct.
Okay? So then, and you play other schools. Like I was in St. Helena's, you play against St. Raymond's, you play against Santa Maria, and you play other schools, right? St. Anthony's, all these schools, right? And you play in there till about 8th grade or so, okay?
Right.
Right, and you play basketball, you play baseball, you play different sports, right? And it's a great organization.
Tremendous.
But then you go on to high school,
right?
Okay, and the way Catholic high school works is you get to choose your high school.
Sure.
Right, you go, you take a test, it's an entrance exam, and then you list in order the schools that you want to go to, and then it gets sent to the Catholic School Association there. And then you get letters saying, welcome or not welcome, right?
Right.
And so a buddy of yours that you've played with your whole life,
Right.
up until that point,
Yep.
right, is your teammate. Now can be your opposition.
Correct.
Okay? And
that's very common.
it's super common because I played, basketball with kids, and only 2 of them were on my high school team.
Right.
Right?
Oh, my son went through that. He played in the CYO league in Orange County right up through 8th grade, as you point out.
Yeah.
And then a lot of those kids go to Burke. Some of them go to NFA. Some of them go to Goshen or whatever.
Correct.
And my son went to Liberty.
Correct.
He played against them all the time.
So now one of the coaches, this guy by the name of Bob Delabovi, okay?
Good coach.
Great coach.
Great coach. Coached at Manhattan.
Coached at Manhattan. I mean,
Division I coach.
Yeah, it's a top flight guy.
Yeah.
Okay? Won a couple state titles. I mean, the guy's good, right? And has a coaching tree that's tremendous.
Yep.
Okay? So he used to coach Santa Maria. Okay. So we would see him and we knew each other. But you're a kid and you just say, hi, how you doing? Then you go into school and now he's your English teacher.
Yeah.
Right? And now he's going to be your coach in high school.
In high school.
Okay?
Right.
And I remember the first thing he said to me, he's like, hey, Darty, come here. I want to talk to you.
Of course, he knew you.
He knew
from
me.
CYO.
He knew me from CYO. He knew who I was. He knew my family. He knew the whole deal.
He knew you were good for 5 fouls a game.
He knew I was giving 5 fouls a game. And so he says to me, I know you played with Tommy Schaefer and this guy and that guy. Well, they're wearing another jersey now, son. You understand me? You're no longer friends when you step on this court.
Right.
Okay? We're not friends anymore.
Correct.
They are your enemy, and you are to play against them as your enemy. Okay? You can go hang out. You could date their sister. You could do whatever you want to do after this.
After the game.
Okay? And I know you live in the same neighborhood because now it's awkward, right?
Sure.
Because now I'm going to St. Raymond's, right?
You're living in Parkchester.
I live in Parkchester. Right.
Parkchester is a big housing development apartment complex that had a very prevalent Irish Catholic population. In fact, my grandfather and my father, my mom and dad got engaged.
Right down the corner, Hugh Grant Circle there.
Yeah.
Right. So now you're still living.
You're right there.
Yeah, the next building over, right? And you see him every day. And you're still in the same friend circle,
playing on the park,
right?
in the park together.
Correct. Yeah. But now he's wearing a Scanlon shirt.
Yeah.
And I'm wearing a St. Raymond shirt.
Or a Spellman shirt. Right? Could be worse.
Let's not get crazy.
Let's not get crazy.
Let's not get crazy. We had one Spellman friend.
Yeah.
And we kind of tolerate him a little bit.
Token.
Okay. So the point being is that
was diversity in your neighborhood.
Yeah, exactly.
That was DEI Parkchester style.
Yeah. Stephen Martz went to Spellman. Oh, poor kid. But the point being is that you're on the same team. And now if you ever in baseball, basketball, whatever, let's say you're pitching against Tommy Schaefer, nice kid, great guy, grew up with him, the whole deal. Let's say, we're up by 10. I'm going to groove one to Tommy, right?
Yeah, give him a home run.
Tommy's my boy, right? And I groove one, right? I would have never played another day in St. Raymond's.
You've been done.
I would have never played another day.
You'd have been done.
Because I betrayed my team.
Correct.
Okay? And that is so unacceptable at any level. Like there was a story today about one of Trump's Secretary Nielsen was operating against them.
Yeah.
In the first term.
Yep.
Right? Unacceptable. Unacceptable. Okay?
If you don't support them, then you step aside.
Correct.
And enjoy yourself.
Look, you don't have to be best friends.
Nope.
You don't have to go out for coffee every week.
Nope.
I mean, you and I are friendly.
Yep.
We had dinner Saturday night.
Yep.
But before that, we had dinner for 2-3 weeks.
2-3 weeks, yeah.
We've never gone out for coffee.
Coffee.
Yeah, you don't drink coffee, so that would be a problem. But it's understood that
It's understood. We're friends. We're always there for each other.
Yeah, and there's a loyalty, right?
Correct.
You never betray your team.
Never.
Ever. Not
under any circumstances.
any circumstance. I don't care if that's your boy from, you're up by 20. You don't groove a pitch to Tommy.
Doesn't happen.
Okay? You just don't do that.
Doesn't happen. And those are the kinds of lessons that we learn through sports that you cannot learn in a classroom.
Correct.
And they're critical because they determine success and failure later in life.
Well, what it does is it teaches you team building.
Correct.
Okay? And team building is the key to success in any organization.
No question.
Okay? In any organization, you have to trust the person next to you.
Absolutely.
Okay? When you're standing shoulder to shoulder, right? Whether it be war, sports, business, politics,
A negotiation.
correct, you
whatever.
have to know that everyone's on the same side.
Absolutely.
Okay? And we're all going towards the same goal. I remember when I was a kid, Pat Nash used to say this to me all the time. Okay?
That Pat Nash was the legendary baseball coach at St. Raymond's
Legendary.
that lost less games in your career than the Mets lost last week.
I don't. Well,
who knows?
So in my career, we lost 5 times.
5 games.
5 games in 4 years.
Okay.
We lost once in a city championship, once in the game to go to the city championship. We won a city championship, but we had a loss that year, and we lost 2 other times.
A molder of men, though.
Oh, yeah.
Pat Nash was.
Put it in perspective, he averaged 21 wins a year for 45 years.
Yeah, folks, that's unheard of at the college level where you recruit. At the high school level, the Catholic schools recruit a little bit, but still in all, you're dealing with kids. You're still dealing
children.
with taking
Children.
9th graders, younger than that even,
Correct.
and molding them.
I was 13 years old.
Because you're playing in a league where everybody's got the ability to recruit.
Correct.
I mean, it's not
correct.
it's not a secret.
And it's the Catholic school league, so most people have a few bucks, right? I mean, that's why you send your kid to that school, blah, 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 right? So he used to say this to me all the time, okay? We live by the goalpost theory. And I'd be like, oh, coach, what does that mean? He says, okay, let's say we all go to Giant Stadium and watch a game, okay? And we say, we're going to meet at that goalpost, okay? The goal is to get to that goalpost so we can all meet up and go to the car together, right? Some kids think it's easier to climb up to the top stairs, run across, and then run down, right? Some people fight their way through the crowd. Some people, they all go different directions. But in the end, we all have a goal, and it's to get to that goalpost. Okay?
And that's, we don't get deterred from that. All right, so let's set this up now.
Okay.
So in the middle of the campaign season of 2023,
Correct.
the Republican Party changed chairman, head coaches.
Correct. On July 28th of 2023, they changed head coaches.
And they brought in Greg Goldstein,
Correct.
who had been the chair once before.
For 17 years.
He inherited a Republican majority.
Correct.
He inherited a Republican majority that had created the most fiscal stability this county has ever seen.
So we were one of 3 counties in the state of New York that had 0 fiscal stress. 0.
He inherited a Republican majority that had expanded Move Sullivan to make it more feasible for people who don't drive to get to work, to get to doctor's appointments, and to get to grocery shopping.
So that was one of my major initiatives. So we historically had a 6.5 unemployment rate.
Yep.
Since we've done that, okay, and this legislature has continued to do that, we have consistently ranked at the top or near the top of the lowest unemployment rate in the Hudson Valley.
Right. So what he inherited was a Republican majority that was, in all respects, had a fiscal conservative approach.
Correct.
They built up the coffers.
So when I came into office, it was $14 million.
Yep.
And when I left office, it was $87 million.
All right.
And on top of that, we didn't bond one dime, and we paid off $26 million of bonds early.
So what you have by analogy here is the guy that inherited the Dallas Cowboys from Jimmy Johnson.
Correct. The one other thing, the thing that I'm probably most proud of was that we had settled all 8 union contracts.
Correct.
With multiple years. So to this day, none of those contracts are up yet.
None of them are up yet.
Okay.
And they were all settled by overwhelming majorities.
Well over 90% majorities.
Right. So truly, Mr. Goldstein inherited a county legislature that was a well-oiled machine and was moving along. There was disputes from time to time, but the outcomes were good. So he didn't need to do a whole lot. Plus, he inherited a slate of candidates that were very popular. George Conklin, a former supervisor, yourself, done so much for the community, Mike Brooks, rest in peace, a town board member, president of the school board for a number of years, truly part of the fabric. In fact, his father was very instrumental in many benefits that people there are still seeing in terms
of the septic.
Of septic situation.
The septic replacement program
right.
was brought to the town of Nipissing by Mike Brooks' father.
So we had good people. All right. So before we go any further, we know what happened in the election. Look, elections have consequences. We understand that. People win, people lose.
But just real fast.
Yep.
So on July 28th of 23, Greg stands in front of the committee, okay, and says, I'm here to heal the committee, and I'm here to get people elected come fall. That's what he said that day when we were voting for
Okay.
him.
So he's going to get people elected, and he's going to heal the committee.
Correct.
Let's play a clip from what I call his post-game interview.
Correct.
This is after, let's face it, for the county chair, the legislature, elections, or their Super Bowl.
Correct. So this is the day after the election.
Day after the election, where we lost the Republican majority, and we lost 3 in particular, very instrumental people in the achievements that legislature had realized.
Correct.
Sot 1, Jacob.
I have mixed emotions, but what happened last night was the right thing for Sullivan County.
And do you want to expand on that?
Obviously, years ago, I was chairman for 17 years, and then I didn't run again, and I was asked this year to come back because of the leadership that we had on the county level as far as the legislature, and it was to remove or really take Mr. Doherty because he was not cooperating and just not a solid leader. And unfortunately, some of the people that followed him was taken out in the wave also. And we need new leadership to move Sullivan County on. We can't have this one-man operation trying to lead Sullivan County. It's not right. And we need to get government back to being cordial, respectful, and doing what's best for Sullivan County.
Greg, this is Jason Dole. I hear you on. You feel like this is the right thing for Sullivan County. Of course, you're the head of the Republican Party in Sullivan County. Is this a good thing for the Republican Party? And what's next? What on the horizon for you and the Republicans?
There's some people that will disagree with me as far as if it's good for the party or not, but the committee knew what I was brought back here to do, and with the help of Tom Bowes and a lot of committee people, we did the right thing. What does it bode for us? We now have to regroup. We have to get back to where we were, get stronger, qualify candidates run for public office. Not that we didn't have them, but we need to start. We need to, what's the new thing? Reboot or whatever they say. But it was a difficult thing for me not to do what had to be done, but it had to be done.
I hear you that you're emphasizing the positive here, but as you look to this new Democratic-led legislature, do you have any concerns?
No, looking at the makeup of the legislature, I know this is a legislature we can work with. I'm glad to see some young faces on the legislature. I think between Louis and Nadia and the folks coming in, I think, and with the Republicans that will be there, I think this will be a productive, meaningful legislature. I don't care. Unfortunately, if it's not fortunate, let me rephrase that. If it's democratically controlled, that's fine. This is Sullivan County. It's not the United States as far as the bickering. We want to do, and I know the Democrats and Ann want to do what's right for Sullivan County.
And I was wondering, we spent a lot of time we spent a little time with you and a lot of time with our other guests talking a lot about Sullivan County, the legislature level races. That's what a lot of people were looking at. But I was wondering if you could talk at all about what was happening in the towns. Is there any town races that you're looking at that you can give us your reaction to?
I think the only town that really had the big was the town of Highland, if I'm correct. I think they had the incumbent there lost. And local issues, I don't know exactly what all the local issues were there, but the people spoke and they wanted change, and they got the change that they wanted, and hopefully the right candidate to move that on.
You've been very clear that you were essentially brought in to do a job, and you did that job, and you're feeling good about it. And again, you were basically brought back to a leadership role in the Republican Party to do that. Are you going to stay with it? What are your future plans in terms of local politics and heading off the Republican Party?
I'm an old guy. No, I have a 2-year term. And I don't have any plans of stepping down from this at this point. I'm not going anywhere. We need to rebuild this party. There's a lot of people that want the party rebuilt because they know that people have to have a choice, and that's what we're going to do. It was a very difficult decision to make to do this, and we're going to be. This is what happened, and this will be a good thing for Sullivan County. And I honestly think that we can work together with the elected legislators coming in. They're a good bunch of people. I'm sorry.
No, I'm sorry for interrupting. I just want to say, so you have a 2-year term. Does that mean that you're on through next year? And if so, we asked Ann about this. What's next on the horizon in terms of next year will be less of a local election. You have some more bigger races. How does what happened yesterday set you up in terms of what the Republican Party wants to do next year for next year's races?
I have to look at what races we have coming up. Obviously, the presidential election next year, but this is going to help rebuild the Sullivan County Republican Party. That's my goal right now, and that's the majority of the committees and the party want. We need to rebuild our party so that we're back there with good candidates that will listen to input from everybody that's on board and not treat everybody rudely or whatever you want to say. It's got to be a working legislature. This, as I said, it's Sullivan County. We have positives, we have negatives, but we have to work on both of those to strengthen the county.
All right. Well, Greg Goldstein, I thank you for taking your time today to talk to us. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, and great coverage, guys. Thank you.
Right. That's fine.
So
I just have to say that I've watched every Super Bowl. Mm-hmm. I don't remember Bill Belichick, the former defensive coordinator for the Giants, who won a Super Bowl with the Giants.
2, I think.
Won 2, I think. I don't remember him saying, "The Giants beat us. That's fine."
Yeah.
Folks, there is no way, under any circumstances, you could possibly trust somebody like Greg Goldstein to be in charge of anything. He took over the reins of the Republican Party so that he could destroy the Republican Party. And to vote for him now is to vote for somebody who cannot be trusted.
So I'm not here to run down Greg Goldstein, but I will talk about his record, right? Because as we've discussed many times, you are what your record says you are.
Correct.
Okay. So one of the things Mr. Goldstein speaks about in that clip was that the meetings were out of control. Okay. The meetings are still out of control. Okay.
Maybe worse.
So they spent tens of thousands of your taxpayer dollars on leadership training. Okay. That didn't work, but that money's gone now.
That's gone.
Not to worry. So then they're going to...
And you had to know that wasn't going to work.
Come on,
I mean,
stop.
they mandated all these people to go to these 40 hours of training.
It doesn't
You
work.
can't train a leader. That's
Correct.
not a leader.
Correct. So then they decide to implement Robert's rules. So they hire a person,
Right.
okay, to implement Robert's rules.
We always followed Robert's rules.
Right. We tried our best.
We tried our best.
People didn't understand them, and they would yell out and say, I have the right to speak. No, you don't have the right to speak.
Well, they didn't like him.
Correct. So the person, to get ready for her job of implementing Robert's rules, watches a few meetings.
Right.
Her first sentences to the legislature is, I am still traumatized by the way you guys run these meetings. Okay. Now, I just want to point out, I made mistakes, and I will freely admit I made mistakes. Okay. I should never have bought into the back and forth, and I realize that. Okay. And anyone that has seen me in meetings in the executive part of the Republican meetings now sees I'm a totally different person when it comes to that, and I understand that. But the people who were creating the havoc in the meetings when I was chair are still doing it.
Well, I mean, they still are, and I don't want to lose sight of. I know you don't want to run down Greg Goldstein, but I'm not a Republican, so I can look from the outside. He said in that interview that it was good for the Republican Party to lose the majority, and that Nadia and Louis, two people that voted against the Republican agenda 100% of the time,
Correct.
were going to be people they could work with.
Okay, so let's define work with.
Right.
In my 4 years in office, now keep in mind we had COVID, and everyone says, "Oh, you got a ton of COVID money." No, we didn't. We
didn't.
We got four because we managed our losses properly.
Correct.
Okay, we weren't taking baths. We were the first county in the state of New York that started laying people off,
Right.
so that they can get unemployment. And some people made more money on unemployment than they did working.
Many did because of the enhanced unemployment.
Correct. We received $14 million, 8 of which had to go to the college to put in a new boiler system, we'll call it, just to make it simple. Because the college, the state, had never funded, Education Law 6309, or the county had never allocated money over a 30-year period to make sure that they had the money ready to go when the boiler system broke down.
Right.
Okay? So if we didn't give $8 million of that money, we would have not had any air conditioning or heat in the college. Okay? The other $6 million went to redoing East Broadway.
East Broadway.
Okay? Which we put up the Village of Monticello's money.
Right.
Okay? That they still owe us to this very day.
Correct.
And I'm not blaming them for not having the money.
Right.
Villages are tough.
It's tough.
But that's where that money went. So that didn't go into our coffers.
Right.
Okay. We, again, left with a 3.83 tax increase over 4 years.
Right.
Now, the crew that we can work with,
Right.
and they're good people,
Right.
keep in mind, before I got into office, overspent their revenues 4 years in a row,
Right.
and broke the cap at least once, and overspent the jail budget by $45 million.
Right.
Okay? These are the people that are good people and can be trusted, and we can work with them.
And you trusted them. You left them $87 million fund balance.
$87 million fund balance, and we paid off $26 million of bonds early. So we made our regular payments, and then we paid early.
Yep.
Okay? Are now looking at, okay, and these are the same people who jacked your garbage rates up by 35%. Okay? The same people who are about to lay on you a 12 to 15% tax increase this year.
1 year.
Okay? That has nothing to do with what's going to happen next year. But not to worry, come election year, they'll have reined it in nice and tight for you. All right?
But let's strip it down, folks. They can't work with them. This is a Tom Bowes and Gary Moss situation. Both supervisors in towns that don't know how to focus on economic development and wanted to come to the county, have the county keep paying their bills, and take the sales tax revenue away from the county and give it to the towns so that the county would then have a hole in their budget. That's the cooperation. When he talks about, well, with Tom Bowes and others, well, the outgoing chair was Gary Moss. So it was the three of them, the three musketeers.
Here's my question. And again, I'm not here to run anyone down, but I'm here to ask questions. And you can draw your own conclusions. Okay? They actively pursued now keep in mind, Gary Moss endorsed my opponent. Okay? As the chair of the party.
Endorsed the Democrat.
Okay? I want to keep that in mind. Actively pursued the losses of 3 Republicans.
Correct.
Okay? Now, these are the people who are in leadership of our party.
Right.
Okay? Okay? You got what you were after. Okay? You came in and said one thing and then acted behind, the curtain and stabbed people in the back and acted against your party.
Well, they took out ads on Bowl Gold that didn't include some of the candidates.
Didn't have me or Terry Bernardo.
Or Terry Bernardo.
Correct. So, now keep in mind, in 2019, I donated $5,000 to the party. 2020, I donated $5,000 to the party. In 2021, I donated $5,000 to the party. And you know why I stopped donating money to them? We went to a dinner one time, and it had my name on it, me and my lovely wife's name on it, Rob and Kathleen Doherty, and Ned Lang's name on it. And
on a sign.
On a sign. Gary Moss decided not to put that sign up and left it on the floor.
On the floor.
Right? So that, okay, Gary, I don't care if you like me or you don't like me.
Right.
Okay? I'll show you every conversation I've ever had with Gary because they're all in text messages. We didn't talk about anything. So when you say I won't cooperate, and we can get into what I didn't cooperate with. I was asked to do some stuff that was flat out illegal, and that's not who I am. Okay?
Right.
For some quick history here, 30 years ago, 14 highway superintendents in this county were indicted on a sluice pipe deal. The one man who was not indicted was my father-in-law, Dick Crumley. Keep in mind, Greg was the chair when that happened. I wanted you to remember that, okay? My father-in-law was the only guy not indicted, okay? They actively pursued the loss of the leadership of the majority. We are now looking at a 12 to 15% tax increase.
Right.
Do we blame the Democrats, or is this a scorpion and a frog situation?
No.
We know what they're going to do.
Right.
They showed us before.
We know who they are.
We know who they are. The enemy told us who they were.
And when they tell you who they are, believe them.
Believe them. They overspend our money every day.
And the fiscal mismanagement that has gone on through the legislature is laid at the feet.
They're the only ones that can overspend.
That's laid at the feet of Greg Goldstein. He was brought in to create that.
Well, it's laid at Tom Bowes' feet also.
Well, sure. Well,
okay.
He says there are some that disagree, but we worked with Tom Bowes and others. Well, the others is Gary Moss.
Okay, so then Tom Bowes was given the vice chair's position.
Well, of course.
Okay, so now let me tell you a quick story about my good friend Tom Bowes, who wrote a letter against me.
Yep.
Okay, but most importantly, he writes a letter against Susan Brown Otto.
Right.
For supporting the Republican candidate for DA.
Right.
Okay. He goes on to talk about Brian, and I think Brian does a fine
He's
job,
fine.
and Brian's a
We've got no
fine
issues
young
with
man. Okay.
Brian.
But he doesn't talk about the fact that he sits on Calhoun Co-op Insurance Board with Brian's
His father. Right.
for over a decade.
Right.
You should mention that,
Should
by
mention
the way.
that.
Okay. If you can be honest. But honesty is not your strong point. I understand that. Now, Tom Bowes, in this re-election, this reorg that we're having on September 30th, I'm going to tell you a funny story about that. Cannot vote in that re-election.
What? He's the chairman of the committee in Calhoun.
Okay. There is no committee in Calhoun because Tom tried to caucus for the seats, which is illegal. Okay?
Well, we're going to let it go because, it's Tom.
We're not letting it go.
Oh.
The Board of Elections said, we're not doing it. By the way, ask anyone you know that's a Republican, ask him how Greg Goldstein's relationship is with Pam Moran, the commissioner of the BOE, okay?
Yeah.
It's not a good conversation.
Okay. So where do we go from here now?
Well, so I got one more thing for you.
go ahead.
So there's no committee there, okay? There's no, Gary Moss is not on the Republican line in the town of Coshocton to be reelected as supervisor because he filled out his paperwork incorrectly, okay? The town of Delaware, Ian, nice kid, filled out the petitions wrong, but it was correctable. And I can show anyone that wants to see it on my phone. On April 6th, I sent a text message to Greg and Tom and said, we have a problem in Delaware.
Yep.
We can easily fix it. This is how you fix it. This is the law, and this is how you fix it. They opted not to do that because they were afraid that Ian was going to vote for me. They were afraid that Delaware was going to vote for me.
Right.
So they were like, let's get them out of the way so that we don't have to. The phone calls that they're currently making, badmouthing Rob Doherty, okay? I won't sit here and badmouth them. I'll tell you the truth about them, but I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do. Right, where do we go from here?
Well, that's my question, is that we talk about the legislature, it's now broken again.
Correct.
But the way things happen is you have a committee structure that's put together that develops candidates and then assists candidates. Folks, it's a lot of work. Those that have not run for office, it's a lot of work to get on the ballot. Forget about getting elected. Just getting on the ballot. You need help getting signatures and petitions and whatnot. So if in order to fix the county, we got to first fix the parties. And the Democrats take care of themselves, and we got some people that are good people in Democrats. That's fine. This is not for that. But taking care of our own house.
Correct.
A house divided against itself cannot stand.
Abraham
Where
Lincoln
do we
said that.
go? Where does the Republicans go now?
So Abraham Lincoln said that. Another quote by a great Republican is the 11th commandment of Ronald Reagan.
Right.
Okay? And that is that you will not speak ill of another Republican.
Right.
Okay?
That's why I'm a conservative, so I can...
So endorsing my opponent and then calling people up and running me down, but not talking about your record.
Right.
Okay, so now Greg sits there.
He has no record.
Okay, that conversation is 2 years old at this point. Greg, you have done nothing of what you said you were going to do. Okay, the party's more divided now than ever before.
Right.
Okay, I shouldn't even have a chance to win the chairmanship because it should be humming along.
Right.
Greg's done this for 17 years now, 19
He's got
years.
people he can work with.
Correct.
It's all set.
Correct. So we don't have any. The Republicans have no state representation on the judicial side or in the state party because we didn't get enough signatures. Greg will tell you that's Paul Walsh's fault. Okay. We go over some other stuff and say, oh, that's that person's fault. It's that person. Leaders don't blame.
No.
Leaders take the blame, figure it out, and fix it.
If it's a problem in the organization, it's the head of the organization's problem.
Correct.
That's it.
You live and die by the head of your organization.
Correct.
So what I want to do as the chair of the party,
So you're running for chair of the party.
Make no bones about it. I'm going to run for the chair of the Republican Party.
Okay, so that's news here on Ion Sullivan. Rob Doherty has put his hat in the ring to be the chairman of the Republican Party.
Correct. And this is what I want to do as chair of the Republican
Okay.
Party. Okay. If you look at the Northway, you know, where at least Stefanik and Schoharie County and all those fine places,
Yep.
they are ruby red counties. Okay. And one of the reasons they're ruby red counties is that they have a very, very strong young Republican club. Now, Greg, Tom, the rest of them have kept them, you know, at arm's length.
Right.
Okay.
You want him not in the inner circle.
Correct. Jessica Walcott is you know, really got that thing going. You know, Nate Henderson was part of it. Now I believe Camille O'Brien is the head of it for this county, which is ideal for us because she also works for Peter Oberacker, who's part of the Northway, and can talk to other people how they build their organizations. We as a party need to embrace the young Republicans.
Of course.
Bring them in. Teach them how to door knock, how to get petitions, and all that stuff. Without youth, you look at all these organizations here, and they're like, oh, we don't have enough members, we don't have enough members. And then you look at the members, and they're all 70 or above.
Right.
You got to bring in the youth.
You got to bring youth in.
Because they...
We're seeing it in the volunteer fire companies. We're seeing it all
You're
over.
seeing it everywhere. They have access to software and stuff that we can't even
We
think
don't even
about,
understand
right?
how they communicate, how we communicate today.
Correct. So it's a totally different world, right? So, excuse me, I just have to get rid of that. So I want to bring them in. I want to fund them at a certain level and then let them grow into their own organization, okay? So we start with a little seed money. We maybe put on a golf tournament or another event, get them going. They get the money from that event. They help out with that event. And then they grow and become a powerful organization. We do what the state Republican Party does. We break up into regions, okay? And this is why this is important. So let's just use the town of Bethel because I'm very familiar with the town of Bethel.
Center of the county.
It's literally the center of the county, okay? Then you take, let's say, the town of Highland. You have to get people with common interests, right? So let's say, so Liberty is right next to us, Monticello's right next, Thompson's right next to us, but we're not the same type of town as them,
No,
okay?
not at all.
So let's say you took the town of Highland, the town of Lumberland, and Forestburg. And
Right.
that's one region,
Yeah.
okay? Just for this argument's sake, just for the conversational piece, right? So we only have 2 contested races in the town of Bethel. I don't believe Lumberland has any contested races.
Correct.
And I don't think Forestburg has any contested races. Okay? So I have 10 committeemen. There's 2 committeemen in Highland. There's 4 in Lumberland. And there's 2 in Forestburg. If you put them all together, right? Now, Highland, as we know, is a hot mess.
Oh, my God.
Okay? But now let's say you had a young Republican club
Yeah.
that was thriving.
Right.
Right? And you take 10 of those people. And then you have, you know, more than 20, you know, committee people here. And they all go out door knocking one day.
Right.
One day. Or all go out and get signatures one day. You can knock on every door in the town and hand out literature and talk about your candidate. You would make a huge impact.
Sure.
You would change the vote by, I would say, probably 10% one way or the other.
No question.
Okay? And that's what we need to do. We need to all use our strength, not divide us.
Right.
Right now, the county committee is so divided. It's either you're liked by Greg Goldstein and Tom Bowes, or you're not. Okay? And it is, you know...
And the result of that, folks, is that we're not getting... The Republican message doesn't get out. It doesn't get out in a unified way. And it's very difficult to get people to run because it's so much work to just get on the ballot.
Correct.
Getting to Labor Day is so much work, and you've got people running for countywide offices, and you're out trying to get 1,100 signatures. It's impossible.
So I'll give you an example.
We got only a minute to go.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
In the same election, okay, the same election, Donald Trump wins this county, the most polarizing figure of our time, correct?
Right.
By 10,000 votes. Marcus Molinaro wins our county by 6,000 votes. Okay? There's a 4,000 spread there. If he had those votes, he'd be our congressman right now.
Correct.
And that gives us national implications.
Correct.
Okay? We have a senator who I bet you if you ask 100 Republicans, maybe 5 would know his name today. He wins the county by 1,500 votes. Lou Ingrassia lost it by 200 votes. Why is that? Because we were not united.
Right.
If we were united and Lou won it just by what Marcus won it by, he'd be our sitting assemblyman right now.
Right.
And we would have broke the gridlock up in Albany. Okay? But we didn't do that. We were not united. We need to come together and work together. I'm not saying you have to be best friends. I'm not saying you have to have cups of coffee with each other every day. And how's your kids and how's your car and you don't have to do that. But we're all Republicans. We're all
unified by a common goal.
Correct. And the common goal is our values. And we need to come together and put others. Let's start with what we agree on.
Right.
And then come off of that.
Our common values. This is the fabric of what we are, and you will hear more about this as time goes on. September 30th is that reorganization meeting. To our audience, get a hold of your representatives on the Republican committee. Get a hold of your committee people and let them know it's time to get the fox out of the henhouse. You've got a fox in there. His name is Greg Goldstein, and his objective is to get his friends in positions of power, regardless of their party affiliation. Not Mike McGuire's words. These are his words. Democrat control. What do you think of that, Mr. Chairman? That's fine. That's not fine, because that goes with our values. So, we got to end it here for today. On behalf of the chairman, Rob Daugherty, this is Mike McGuire reminding you to be sure to subscribe. We're going to have lots of candidates coming in the next couple of weeks. We're going to hear more about this committee reorganization. So you want to be sure to subscribe. Leave us a comment. If you don't agree with something we said, leave us a comment. We will respond. You can always drop us an email at ionsullivan@gmail.com.
EYE.
That's EYE.
Yeah.
All right. And when you're watching this on YouTube, be sure to
smash
that like button and share the link on your Facebook pages and your Instagram pages so we get this word out. Because if you are tired of the cost of garbage pickup, and you're tired of the taxes, and you're tired of the cost of living, and you're tired of 15% tax increases, it starts with getting the right candidates for the right reason. We'll be back next week with another edition of Ion Sullivan.